Education, babe. It's a podcast. It comes out every week. So here's another one.
Hello and welcome to a Christmas episode of Lexx Education, comedy and science meets Grinches.
You're a podcast, Mrs. Lexx.
I miss you making different Christmas music every year.
I only did that once.
Did you?
Yeah.
But you made two different ones, I think. But I only saved one of them, so I just use that one now.
Which one is it?
The Pogues one.
That one's stupid.
Yeah.
I really like the Halloween one as well.
Yeah, the Halloween one's good.
That's where
you
it all
should make
started.
more Christmas ones, Ron. Now that you're an executive business high flyer, you just don't have the time like you used to.
No. I think it's less about that. It's more about, we've got friends again now.
Yeah. Why don't you move back to Brussels and get sad? The podcast is better then.
Yeah, well, give me a year.
Happy Christmas. It's literally the 23rd of December when this episode goes out.
Oh, peak
You'll be
Christmas, to be honest. That's probably the best day of the year.
Yeah, I love it. I love the build-up. My house downstairs looks like it's already Christmas Day. There's crud everywhere. There's mulled wine. There's chocolate Baileys. There's mince pies. There's brioche. Oh, the house is covered in residue.
My house...
Got your blackout blinds for when you have to sleep up here this weekend, Ron?
Thank you. I sleep with a sleep mask full time now, so that will be fine.
Why are you lying to the listeners? You're awake with a sleep mask on. I can see you, Ron.
I didn't say I'm asleep. I said I sleep.
I know. I'm saying you wear it when you're awake, too.
Oh, I see. Yes.
You're just a full bandit these days.
Living my raccoon best life. Yes. I bought you a Christmas present yesterday.
Oh, did you?
I'm going to bring it with me, and you're just going to have it at the weekend.
Oh, that's exciting. I haven't bought your birthday or Christmas present yet. Struggling this year.
I'm really bad because I don't have a good memory for some things, and I couldn't remember if you'd bought me a birthday present. But then I didn't want to ask in case you had, and I'd forgotten.
No, normally I'm really good. This year, I think it's because when the better I get on with people, the more I like buying them presents. But then it means more. So, like, you and Sarah are my last people to buy for this year. No offense to youngest sister of the podcast. I've bought hers, but it was pretty easy because we don't really do gifts, so you can get more of a token thing. Whereas when it's more of the deep and meaningful, you're like, oh, is this good enough? Is this what I want to get?
Yikes!
Anyway, we teased last week that this might be about the polls.
And then we had a much better idea because the polls, I don't know how. I think they're probably quite interesting. I don't know how much whimsy there is in the polls.
Also, because there's less and less of them.
No.
Yeah,
No.
the ice and the snow.
Yeah, the ice caps. Yes, there's less.
Yeah. That's basically what the polls are. Isn't
And the polls could just stop at any moment. I think, or reverse.
fun.
I think they could reverse.
it? And then all the penguins would have to move. But I basically spent a morning texting Ron non-stop various ideas I'd had. And Ron read the last one in the list and said that one without reading the rest of the list.
Because it was the perfect idea.
I think it was the perfect
And
idea.
as I said in my text, I'd been thinking about the Grinch a lot recently.
Ron's got a bit of a Grinch boner on. And he's loving the Grinch these days. And we wanted to do something filmic because I think we've done a film episode most of the Christmas years. Is this our third year of Christmas stuff? Maybe fourth. I can't remember.
Third.
So we wanted to do a Christmas one. So we have decided to explore the physiology of the Grinch.
Yeah, we're putting the Grinch under the microscope.
Nice.
Yeah, you can think of...
I say we. Ron's doing it.
Yeah, but, we'll go on the journey together, won't we?
Hundo.
So, Laura.
The Grinch is one of the films. It's the earliest film I remember falling asleep in the cinema to. And not for not liking it. I just want you to know, Carrie. Loved it. But was just very tired.
You're a big Carrie head, aren't you?
I think it's good.
I think, but isn't it... I think it's a fact in Carrie lore that this is when he went insane.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the makeup drove him insane.
I mean, don't you ever think sometimes when you watch these, like, do you ever watch the videos on the thing of, like, Jim Carrey on set for The Grinch and it took 6 hours to get him into makeup every day? And you'd be like, then this isn't worth it, guys.
Yeah.
You can't put the makeup on for 6 hours just to film for 3. That's so stupid.
It's similar for Lord of the Rings, and obviously Lord of the Rings best films ever made, so worth it. Like, you know, a couple of hours of makeup, but like they'd be like, yeah, we've been up since 5, so they could put these rubber little booties on so that the hobbits have hairy little feet, and you're just like, just do the shots very slightly differently, and have 3 hours more sleep. Elijah would.
Yeah. It was worse for the dog. The dog in The Grinch was actually a cat. And that had to be up for 7 hours to get into dog makeup.
Laura, they're just coughing into a pashmina.
I got the pashmina free at a wedding.
It's nice to know that it's cherished.
Oh, I have got tissues up here. I'm not well.
Are you in a sort of tie-dye wee willy winky thing?
I'm in tie-dye pyjamas, but it's just normal pyjamas. It's not wee willy winky.
It looked like one continuous sort of long shirt.
Oh, I would love that. No, it's a two-piece. It's like, you know those pyjamas that are a suit, but pyjamas?
Yes.
Yeah, it's those.
Okay.
They were made for me by nephew of the podcast and older sister of the podcast.
I've got a rather fetching T-shirt by the same designer. Yeah. Anywho, so we're talking about the Grinch, Laura. We're going to talk a bit about its evolution, its anatomy, its kind of living habit, and a bit of kind of speculation on the environment that it's from and whatnot. Okay.
Because we have to assume that the Grinch, in the Grinch films, he's not in his normal living environment.
No, I did think about the fact that maybe Grinches replicate asexually, and therefore, you know, one Grinch laid an egg and another one came out of it. But there's a lot of evidence pointing in different directions.
Well, he arrives via a stalk, doesn't he, with other babies?
Well, that's what people say, but I don't think you can necessarily believe that.
Well, like, you see it in the film, so seeing is believing.
Yeah, but in a flashback.
But caught on camera.
But you can't trust the narrator.
Okay.
Because it's a flashback. If it happened in modern day, then we could take it as gospel, but...
Okay, fine.
Anywho, so something we definitively know about the Grinch is that he's a mammal. Why do we know this?
Hair.
Fur. Yeah, absolutely.
Fur.
Also, couple other...
Milk.
Yes, his big lactating titties.
Teeth.
Lots of things have teeth, but we will talk about the Grinch's teeth a lot later.
Okay.
Anywho, so he's got first.
Warm-blooded.
We don't know that about the Grinch.
Oh, yeah. But surely
you're saying things you know about mammals. Yes, yeah. I said fur. I agreed with fur.
I know, but
I tried to stop you at fur.
If he wasn't warm-blooded, why would he have fur?
What do you mean?
Well, if you're cold-blooded, you need to get the heat from the sun in, and the fur's going to block that. Whereas fur is an insulating layer to keep heat that's already there in.
It's a good point, but the existence of the fur itself is enough evidence.
Okay, I'll stop.
Then we've got to think about what type of mammal, okay? Now, there were 2 types that I considered for this. We'll get onto the one that I discarded in a sec, I've landed, and it might be a bit of a cop-out because of the Kerry of it all, but the Grinch is an ape.
Oh, okay.
Opposable thumbs.
Mm-hmm.
Bipedal.
Mm-hmm.
I put it to you that humans' earliest ancestors, between 6 and 3 million years ago, which is when we were just starting to stand up and become bipedal, we split into two groups. Now, Homo sapiens, us, or, well, we'd have been Homo erectus at the time, lived, I think the theory is that we lived on the grasslands. We moved out of the jungle onto the grasslands. We stood on 2 feet. Being bipedal allowed us to travel further distances. It did mean that the ladies died in childbirth quite a lot more, but we thought that was worth it, and we could see super far on the grasslands. At this moment, Homo Grinchus, I believe, turned around and went back into the jungle. Oh, that's my second alarm.
Get up, Ron. Get up. You're missing the Grinch.
Yeah. So
he came out long enough to get up and then went, ugh, it's too spacious out here. I want to be surrounded by trees.
Exactly.
Okay.
Why do I think this? Laura, we've got green insects on the planet. We've got green reptiles and even green birds. But there are no green mammals.
And I've always found this bizarre. I think foxes should be green.
It makes sense. Green would be great camouflage for different things.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there are no green mammals. There is one mammal that can appear green.
Sloths.
Sloths live in the jungle, which is why I think the Grinches turned back into the jungle. Why is the sloth green?
He goes mouldy, doesn't he, with algae?
Yes. So sloths have incredible algae. Well, it's not just algae, actually. They have entire ecosystems growing in their hair, in their fur.
Like a teenage boy.
There are species of moths that just live in sloth hair.
Well, this feels like a children's book
the
that's
moth and the
waiting to
sloth.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. More Lexx Education merch. The moth and the sloth. I'm a sloth moth. Oh, and they'd have like that characteristic duo thing of moths are all like busy and like, I gotta do this. And sloths are like, wab.
Do the moth impression again?
I gotta do this. Like that.
Is that how you imagine moths?
Yeah, because they were always like, get me in the window, get me in the window. I gotta go, the moon. Oh, wait a minute, there's a lamp. Oh, no. Oh, stop on this code fiddle. I gotta go. Like that.
Oh, that's so different to how I'd do a moth.
Oh, how would you do a moth?
Much more kind of like, where's the moon? There's the moon. Fly for the moon. Kind of, whereas a butterfly would be more like,
yeah, I agree with your butterfly.
Yeah.
Flapper, 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 I'm a butterfly. But moths are like so scattered.
Are they? You got to talk to that kid, man. She's not going to shut up.
Hang on. Yes, love.
Anywho, it's assumed because of the lack of green mammals that it's a physiological constraint on hair, like on the way that mammals make hair, that we just can't. Otherwise, we would. You'd see it somewhere.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But
why do you think that is? What's so hard? Is green limited? No, because bugs get green. So it's not like it has to be plant matter. It can happen in, like, animal stuff. But...
let's see, green feathers, how?
Yeah, because green feathers exist on parakeets and stuff, don't they?
Yeah.
And budgerigars. What are those ones that are all, like, loose in London?
Pigeons?
Are they budgies? No, quite a lot of cities have, like, flocks of green birds.
Oh, see, now here's the thing. The greens of some parrots are the result of yellow pigments overlying the blue reflecting characteristics of the feathers. So they're not even truly green.
Oh.
Interesting. But also Green Feathers is an organisation, so it's taking up a lot of this search bandwidth. What do you do? What are you about? Like make cameras and boxes for birds and bugs. The Grinch, brought to you by greenfeathers.co.uk. Anyway, so sloths encouraged this dirtiness on themselves. It's all on purpose, actually. And their hair actually has micro cracks in it that provide the environment for the algae and the fungus, which then obviously encourages the insects and the moths and stuff to live, and then they can eat the fungus and the algae and stuff.
Interesting.
Now, I was doing this, and I based it mainly off the greenness, right? Because we've got to make the Grinch green. We've got to talk about that. It's insane. But we actually have confirmation from the film, book, or whatever that the Grinch has these what are they called, symbiotic relationships with creatures living in his fur and on his body. Can you think about where?
Doesn't he open his fur like trousers at one point?
Yeah, and you see his fat hog, but that's different.
I don't know, Ron.
He's got termites in his smile.
Oh, yeah.
So we know that there's creepy crawlies living on the Grinch.
So he's got loads of split ends full of algae to encourage the termites.
Exactly, yeah. And they're spilling over into his mouth, much like a remora cleans the teeth of a shark, I should think.
Okay, he's making more and more natural sense now.
Yeah, so there was just some interesting stuff about how microbiologists and whatnot and oncologists are looking into the fungal species that grow on sloths, because some strains show uses for treatments in malaria, Chagas disease, and even breast cancer.
Sorry, Chagas disease?
Chagas disease, yeah.
Syphilis? What?
Chagas?
What's Chagas disease? No, I like Chagas disease.
Chagas.
Yeah, Chagas
disease.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't know there was such a thing as Chagas disease.
No. So the much like our gut biome plays a role for us, the fur biome of the sloth and Grinch may play some kind of defense role for them as well.
I'm so used to hearing the word biome in a strictly Minecraft-related world that I started imagining a gut biome that you could live in for
Laura,
Minecraft.
You're going to hate it when you next log into our Minecraft world.
What have you done?
I've built a new super battery farm.
Oh, Ron, but what was wrong with my meat pit?
Well, this is just for chickens, but it automatically takes the eggs and then hatches them and throws them back into the pit. Which,
that is so cruel.
It will hopefully lead to many a chicken.
What do you want the chickens for?
Feathers.
What do you want the feathers for?
Arrows.
I thought you were getting arrows out of your monster spawn pit.
I am, but it's nice to have more, isn't it?
No,
You took all the arrows last time.
Oh, but left hundreds.
Well, there's more now, yeah. Been mining like a loon.
We should do another Minecraft Patreon episode. That was fun.
We should, yeah. Yeah, and I think we can record it separately. I think that would be better anyway.
There wouldn't be a dog playing with a crisp packet really near the microphone.
Yeah. And you could probably hear both of us and we could adjust levels and stuff. I don't know how other podcasts record in the same room with two mics. That's mad to me. Don't you just hear each other on your own mic?
Yeah, but then sometimes, like, when I listen to Tim and Tom, you know, you can hear Tim talking through Tom's microphone or something where they've cut Tim's and you just hear a faint bit in the background.
So,
I think they have better mics.
yeah, probably that is the case.
But they have more patrons, so...
Yeah. Anywho, what's the other thing that the microbiome of the sloth does? So the algae obviously provides camouflage. As we've said, being green in the jungle, great. So things that are looking for you, difficult to find. Similar. We can presume the same thing for the Grinch. The other thing is body odour. You can't smell a sloth because it reeks of all of the things in its fur, which are all natural things, which means that things that hunt off the scent of smell also cannot find the sloth. Or the Grinch. So that's the other type of creature that I did think about potentially the Grinch being, was some kind of large ground sloth.
Yeah.
But because of the bipedalness and the opposable thumbs, I did rule that out and we went with ape.
Yeah, that sort of screams one direction, really, doesn't it? Because those are pretty unique characteristics that mean that we made Dubai and stuff.
Yeah, and I think easier to make an ape have dirty green fur than to make a sloth stand up, opposable thumbs, have, sort of comprehension and thinking ability in the way that we do.
Yeah, you can roll an ape in aphids, but you can't take a sloth to
School.
a degree.
Yeah, exactly.
That's an old phrase in our family.
Now,
we should get that on a piece of driftwood. More merch.
So the sloth, Laura, has to camouflage its smell and whatnot because it moves so goddamn slowly. So it needs to sort of evade predators any way it can. The Grinch does not move slowly, and we know this because we've seen the film. It can move quickly,
he's
and it has
up and down.
Incredible strength at some points.
What's it called? Crumpit Mountain?
I don't know.
You Mount Crumpit. I was right.
Well done. Now, the sloth has to hide from predators. The Grinch has to hide because it is a predator.
Oh, apex.
Yeah. So, from my research, I think what
research is a funny word when you're talking about this sort of stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, from
your fevered musings with access to too much information for one human brain.
So, yeah, I believe that the Grinch, when in its natural jungle-y habitat, is a voracious predator akin to some kind of jaguar or tiger. Now, I'll tell you...
He's very lithe, like a big cat, isn't he?
Very lithe, very sneaky. Sneaks into the room. Cindy Lou Who didn't know what was what. Now, there's a couple of pieces of evidence for this. Number one, the Grinch's heart is very, very small.
Yeah.
So hearts are normally about 0.6% of an animal's body mass.
Whoa.
Yeah.
0.6%. Actually, that's nothing.
Yeah, I didn't know why you said whoa.
I thought for a minute you meant 6%, and I thought, that's loads. But 0.6% is less than 1%.
10% is 6%.
What? 10% is 6%?
It's 0.6%.
Brain has broken.
So, yeah, that normally 0.6%. A cat's heart is just 0.35% of a cat's body weight.
Cats are bastards.
So, you could make a sweeping assumption that a Grinch's lifestyle might be quite similar to that of a cat.
Yeah. He's got a feline heart energy.
Yeah, and you know, there's like you say, there's some quite feline things to the Grinch. I did find an article where they got a proper cardiologist to talk about the Grinch's heart, Dr. Cass. And Dr. Cass talks about how the heart of a Burmese python is designed to grow rapidly after they eat to aid digestion and like pump all the blood around the stomach and stuff.
Oh.
So, god damn it, computer. Yeah.
Is this your new computer yet?
No, that will take ages to arrive. I can't wait though. We'll be able to do podcasts so good. Anyway,
We won't though.
no, but we'll be able to. So the Burmese python, its heart grows rapidly. So what I think the Grinch does is I think it hunts large jungle animals like tapirs and elephants and other large jungle mammals. Mm-hmm. Eats a hell of a lot like a python, and then its heart will grow and then it would be kind of sedentary for a bit, sleepy like a cat.
Yeah. And then that could make sense for why his heart's so small living on Crumpit Mountain, is because there aren't large predators to catch up there, and that's why his heart's remained 3 sizes too small for so long.
Exactly. And we know from the seminal text that when he makes friends with all of the Who's, he has a generous helping of roast beast. Mm-hmm. Heart grows. They're all thinking it's because he's found...
Full of love for Christmas.
No, he's just digesting.
Yeah.
We also know...
Oh, I love the idea that in The Grinch too, he just comes back an arsehole again and is just like, feed me. That's very cat behaviour.
Yeah.
I'll just be horrible to you until you feed me.
Yeah.
You've showed me that there's food available here now. Oh, that night I spent with your cat is one of the worst days of my existence. I think about that all the time. Fuck me.
She's nice.
Yeah, but listen, I loved your flat, but like, you're sleeping on the mezzanine with Girlfriend of the Podcast. I'm downstairs on the sofa. So we're all kind of in one room. You've just got that air of like, anything you do can be heard, And then there's just a loose cat running around all the rooms. This cat has been nowhere to be seen all day. It doesn't want to know. It's barely a pet. It's like a house plant that is under the bed. And then suddenly at night, it's like, how about I just whack you in the cheek for 20 minutes? Oh, were you asleep? Well, I want to breathe really near your mouth. I think what I'm going to do now is just run from this wall to this wall as fast as I can, 7 times, and then just stop in the middle of the room and stare at you. Oh, am I sat on your chest? I'm so sorry. Oh, yeah, I am sat here. Yeah, how about I lick everything really near your ear? It was mad. And then, like, the second everyone was ready to get up, this cat's like, all right, bye then. See you later. I'm going again.
Gnocchi's so grown up now. A year of just living with Girlfriend of the Podcast, she doesn't fucking move at all. Literally just kind of plods from one spot to the next, sleeping.
Ah, that's life, man.
Yeah. So like you say, the Grinch's tiny blackened heart when it's living alone on Mount Crumpit would be because it's not getting access to the diet. We see him subsisting on vegetables, onions. Onions have a lot of protein. That's why you're able to caramelize them. So seeking out the vegetables that you can do that with. Also, we see him eat glass. Incredible bite strength. What maybe we could even imagine the Grinch as a predator specializing in birds and eating all the beaks if he can eat a glass bottle.
It's very snake-like behavior, actually, isn't it? I'm thinking there might be some snake in him somewhere with this heart thing, and then the eating glass, just eating things whole like that.
Well, Dr. Cass in that article that I read as well did point out that when he initially meets Cindy Lou Who, when he's breaking into that house, you see him kind of slither through the room. And I've put in that I doubt he eats fish. I don't think he's hunting in the rivers. Too fluffy.
Yeah. I agree. Maybe that's why he has a retriever dog. Because Max is a golden retriever, isn't he?
Yeah, but we've got no evidence that they live with dogs in the jungle.
Okay, so this is an anomalous piece of data.
It's an anomalous dog.
Okay.
But it does lead into a couple of other theories, like the fact he's an ape. Domestication is something that only a few species, including apes, have been seen to do. And it also is evidence for my other theory that the Grinch is not meant to be solitary.
Yeah.
I don't...
Seeking out company.
Seeking out company. Eyes on the front of its head, which is evidence of two things. Sociality. Humans and other monkeys and whatnot can afford to have eyes on the front of their head because we have mates looking out for us behind us. So if there's a Grinch sneaking up on us, someone else would go, look, watch out. Whereas things like rabbits that can't communicate these things to each other, they have to have near 360-degree vision, so they can always be looking out for predators.
Yeah.
So I think we can assume that the Grinch is social because of this. The other thing that eyes on the front of the head tells you is that they'd be good at hunting because you have good depth perception. If you look at things like even going back to like a T-Rex or something, they have eyes that point forward, so that depth perception, so they can grab something. Another tick in the predator column.
But in a cat sense, then, more like a lion than a tiger, then. Because lions are the most social of cats, aren't they? They have a slightly different brain setup, I think, that makes them more family-orientated. And that's why you get lion prides, but you don't get tiger prides and stuff.
Yeah, more like a lion than a tiger, I guess, yeah. Now, I'm going to send you a picture here, Laura.
Oh, Ron, we just got paid from Patreon.
Hey!
I'm going to send you money today.
I love money. Whoa.
Did you just spill coffee everywhere?
Almost. Sent you a picture there, Laura.
Oh, no. Grinch teeth are disgusting.
So those are
those the termites? Those are the famous termites.
Yeah, those are the termites living in his smile. Do you want to describe what we're looking at there?
So we're looking at basically my teeth before I had a brace here. They are higgledy and indeed piggledy. They're not pointy though. We don't have evidence of fangs. They look quite human, but all over the place. No top lip. He has a bottom lip that's pink and the top lip is not there. So fillers don't exist in Grinch world. Sort of yellowish, but actually for a creature that we have to assume does not brush its teeth, not as bad. Like, they're the sort of colour of a Tory in an 80s sitcom teeth.
I mean, yeah, it kind of...
I think this is basically what Americans think British teeth look like.
Yeah, it looks essentially like 2 rows of flaked almonds.
Yes, it does.
I want to eat more flaked almonds. I saw in a restaurant recently just like them just as a nice topping to a curry. I'm just like, why aren't I doing that?
Shall I make that nice apple and flaked almond torte that I make this weekend?
I don't know if I've ever had it.
Oh, it's like cinnamon and cooking apple with a caramelized flaked almond topping.
Interesting. I've made a new signature dish recently, which is just the most delicious tomato sauce you've ever eaten.
Oh, is that the one that nearly made you cry the other day?
Yeah. I welled up when I was eating it because it was so delicious.
Do you think you can flake an almond without a machine?
I presume if you could, everyone would be doing it.
It just seems like it must be incredibly difficult to flake an almond.
Yeah, I guess a tiny mandolin?
Yeah, I was thinking a tiny chisel, but your idea is better.
No, my idea is much better, but I'm not an inventor like you, so who am I to say?
Or like, you get those like square things that you push down over a potato and it turns them into chips.
Like an apple corer.
Yeah, one of those, but tiny for an almond.
Potential.
How are they doing this on an industrial scale?
Machines.
Oh, I want to see these machines. surely there will be an episode of How It's Made about this. This video shows how an almond slicer works. Brilliant. Oh, Ron, it's a big machine. It's much bigger than my apple sorter. He's putting a bag of almonds in the top. You're not going to show me the inner workings, though. Flakes are just going to come out that hole, and I've learned nothing.
That's what she said.
Yeah, that is useless video. You've showed me nothing. Well, I can look at this in my own time.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Whack it on the Patreon list. How to flake an almond.
Sorry, back
do you know
to
what
the
would be a
Grinch
great one for Patreon? Just like Inventor's Hour with Laura. I could set you a bunch of challenges, like how, like a machine to flake an almond.
Okay, that I will put in the list.
And then you have to come up with machines, and I want diagrams.
Okay.
That would be fun.
I'm going to call that extra credit.
Ooh, I like it. Anywho, so the key thing that we need to take away from this Grinchly smile is twofold. One, it's all in sizes, baby. All flat, scoopy, bitey teeth at the front. We can't see any canines, which is typically what you'd see in a predator. But I think we can disregard that because we know where the Grinches come from, i.e. omnivorous apes briefly exiting and then re-entering the jungle.
Just going out, looking at all the space available. No, thank you. I like the gloom.
Yeah. So incisors are the ones at the front, like your two buck teeth, your horrible buck teeth, and they're for like biting scoops out of something. So I think Grinches are probably like natural kind of like melon ballers. I think they're just like biting scoops out of stuff. The other thing,
maybe he's eating a lot of rotted flesh then.
Why?
Well, because that's softer than just caught flesh, isn't it?
Yeah, but you can still. They're for biting and scooping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what are the canines for then?
Biting and tearing.
Well, that's what I'm just saying, is that maybe flesh that's had a bit of time to season and go soft, maybe it's a lot of braised meat. Maybe
he does, like the roast beast. The other thing that I think we can pay attention to in the Grinchly smile is the layers of teeth.
Like a shark.
Like a shark, yeah, which is evidence for it losing a lot of teeth. Which would happen if you're using your mouth in a combative way.
And if you've got termites in there.
Well, the termites will probably clear in lumps of flesh from in between the teeth, cleaning them out.
Okay.
I'd say, if I had to guess, termites is probably anachronistic. Where's the mound? Where's the mound, people?
Tonsils.
So I would hypothesize that the Grinch can grow as many teeth as it wants, and it just replaces them. So what you're actually probably seeing with the Grinch from Mount Crumpit is much like when you don't let a rodent chew and then its teeth just go way too long. If you don't let a Grinch hunt, it does not lose the teeth that it had, that it should during its natural kind of lifestyle.
So if we wanted to keep this Grinch in peak health, we should allow a sort of like Hunger Games-esque week every year where he's allowed to hunt the Who's.
Well, the 1979 special, Halloween is Grinch Night, might be just about that.
Oh.
Yeah. But we're not talking about that because I've not seen it.
We're not, no. It's not canon.
No. And everything I know about it, I know from a different podcast, so we can't just quote that. The teeth thing is another way that we know that the Grinch is a mammal, by the way. Mm-hmm. Do you know mammals have completely wackadoo teeth, and it's one of the along with like fur and like being warm-blooded so we can stay warm in different environments and stuff, and you know, the live birth and stuff. It's one of the things that's made us really, really successful. Is mammal dentition is fucking crazy.
Why? What? Because we have lots of different types of teeth.
Yeah, and that's actually quite weird. We think of it as super normal because obviously we grow up and we've got like 4 different types of teeth and we're just one little creature. But mammal evolution of teeth is insane. Like if you look in a lizard's mouth, you're probably going to see just one type of tooth just replicated over and over again. They won't have like ones at the back for doing one thing, ones at the front for doing another thing. That's something really special in mammals. And when you're like a paleontologist, you can always tell a mammal skull from something else because of the teeth.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, horses have that too, don't they? They have like the molars at the back. And do other mammals have wisdom teeth, or is that just a human thing?
I should imagine other ones do, but not all of them. Like, like even like in the sort of the construction of the teeth, it's crazy. Because if you think like we just have 2 sets, which is fucking weird. And then rodents, their teeth just keep on growing forever. They have what's known as rootless teeth.
Yeah, like rabbits, they have that.
Rabbits are rodents, yeah.
Are they?
Yes.
They're mammals, though, aren't they?
Rodents are yes, we're talking about mammals.
Yeah. Okay.
Do rabbits have fur?
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
What were you about to say?
I was going to say naked mole rats don't, but then I remember they're not rabbits.
They are mammals, though.
Yeah, but they don't have fur.
No, but they do give live birth, produce milk, and are warm-blooded.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they probably do have hairs.
Yeah. So go back to... So mammals have weird teeth, so you're saying, like, rats are mammals and it's weird that their teeth just grow eternally.
It's not weird. It's just another way that mammals have evolved their teeth for their own purposes.
Whereas sharks, they just can produce as many teeth as they like through their lives, can't they?
Yeah, but it's all the same type of tooth, and I believe shark teeth are actually evolved scales.
Yeah.
If you look at a shark skin under a microscope, it's kind of like millions of tiny teeth.
Whoa. Do you remember when we did the teeth episode with Beck Hill and we found those really cool seals' teeth that looked like... They were rad, weren't they?
Yeah.
Seals are mammals. Weird teeth.
What do you think Beck Hill would think of the Grinch's mouth?
I think she'd like it, but she's so nice she would like anything, but I don't think they'd be the first teeth she'd want.
No.
But they would be a prized possession. How many people can say they have a Grinch's tooth? None.
Sorry, I
So
was
maybe
just
some
staring
people
into
that
the
worked in
Grinch's
the-
mouth.
Some people that worked in the props department on the film The Grinch, you know?
Yeah. His top lip is unappealing.
It's not there, Ron. It's very much like my top lip. He just doesn't have one.
Anyway, I'm going to stop staring into the Grinch's mouth. That was the last thing I had on my list to talk about with the Grinch. Is there anything you think I've missed that I can now wax lyrical about?
Okay, have I got questions? Let me think. What do you think about the fact that he lives in shelter, Ron? What does that tell us? He's not an outside dweller.
Well, I think that goes back to the jungle versus mountain dynamic, where it's not his natural environment in the north, so he's cold, so he's seeked out shelter because he's used to a tropical jungle.
How do you think he's toileting?
Out his bum.
Not a cloaca or anything. He's just a normal...
No, he's an
He's
ape.
got no visible peen.
No, but other apes have much smaller penises than humans. So
So does that mean he's probably not monogamous? Would he have a harem of women?
potentially, yeah, Grinchly women. Yeah, because, like, you know, a gorilla's penis is smaller than a human's, even though they're bigger. Humans have quite large penises for their size.
What do we think a Grinch female is going to look like then? Is she going to be significantly smaller than a man Grinch?
That is typically, with the great apes, that is typically the way. The male is much bigger. So you could assume she'd be a bit smaller. Probably have gorgeous milkers.
Which way does it work if it's monogamous? There's a thing, isn't there, about how you can tell whether things live in like prides or monogamy based on the differentiation of male to female size ratio.
Yeah, I think it's the more similar they are, the more monogamous they are, I think. But I also think it's like also a lot to do with penis size and sperm. I think the one that's a really infallible ratio is sperm to egg ratio, the size of those. But yeah, I don't know how big the Grinch's swimmers are.
No. We know that he fancies Christine Baranski, though, so we can assume that Grinch ladies...
That's how you know the Grinch is human.
Well, who doesn't love Christine Baranski? Oh, God, she's amazing. Okay. He does have language.
I mean, the Who's Grinch dynamic, can they interbreed? We've not delved into the Who's here.
No, maybe that's for next year.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, would that come out, could that work like a Liger type thing?
Yeah.
In that book that I'm reading that I've been telling you a lot about, Ron, the one where I'm reading about Neanderthal who raises a Homo sapien.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. In that, she has a Neanderthal baby, and there's like a little bit of talking in that about how the two clans sort of occasionally interbreed, and they have like these children that don't last very long and that look like odd, obviously, because they're a mixture of both of them. So if this book is based on science, then Neanderthals and Homo sapiens could breed, so potentially Grinches and Who's could.
Oh yeah, Neanderthals and humans fucked all the time.
Yeah, we'd have to think about where Who's split off, I guess, from Grinches.
Yeah, well, I mean, Who's are basically humans to the point that they might just be humans with strange noses.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the only difference.
We'll have a think about that for next year.
I think we'd have to go further afield.
Why are they so Christmas obsessed?
No, just the film's set at Christmas.
Oh, I just thought they were just always into Christmas.
No, the film's set at Christmas.
Oh, yeah, I suppose so. In Horton Hears a Who, it's not Christmassy, is it?
No.
But in Horton Hears a Who...
Did you think everyone in Chicago's obsessed with Christmas because they are in Home Alone?
I hoped so. And While You Were Sleeping, also Chicago. But then I've seen The Bear, and maybe it's sandwiches. Anyway, in Horton Hears a Who, though, Whoville lives on a speck of dust. So the Grinch, potentially, is tiny.
Well, the whole story of the Grinch supposedly takes place on one snowflake.
Does it?
Yeah.
Gosh. So he's minuscule. This throws everything we've been discussing up into the air.
Yeah.
It's a whole different universe.
Oh, the only other fact that I had about the Grinch that I haven't mentioned yet is that, do you know how long he lived in Mount Crumpit before he came down and stole Christmas and everything?
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't seem adolescent. He seems fully grown. And we know he goes up there as a child, doesn't he?
Mm.
So I'm going to guess like 20 years or so?
53 years.
Jesus Christ, you would go mad.
Yeah. And,
yeah,
like, presumably most of that alone, because dogs don't live that long. And Max is pretty spry.
Yeah. Maybe he's had a series of dogs, though.
That'd be sad.
He's just got the bones of them. I'm going to get Mackie taxidermed when she dies.
It's going to reek.
She already reeks. How much worse could it be? Oh, 53 years. So are we thinking the life expectancy of a Grinch then is similar to a human?
I think maybe even longer, because at 53, he's like lifting a whole, probably closer to 65, maybe. Because he does go up there when he's a kid, as you say. And he's lifting like a whole sled above his head
Yeah.
at one point and like throwing cars around and stuff.
He's got more ape-like strength than humanoid
more
strength.
gorilla-esque.
He's got a very pot belly.
Yeah, for digesting things.
Oh, yeah, he needs the space in there for when he eats an entire zebra.
All the melon balls of flesh, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. He doesn't wear shoes. Does he Donald Duck it? Is he wearing a t-shirt and nothing
No,
else?
he is just naked. I think, well, he occasionally wears clothes, but...
Yeah, he puts it on, when he's dressed as Santa, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he has that desire to fit in as a child. That he definitely craves company.
Yeah.
'Cause otherwise he wouldn't be shaving and stuff as a kid.
Exactly.
Oh, I love the Grinch. Okay, Ron. I've had a lovely time.
Thank you for talking about the Grinch with me.
Thank you for talking about the Grinch with me, Ron. I feel like we've both got lost in our own thoughts about it all, though, and it's not led to the most engaging end to the podcast, but that's because we've drifted off into contemplation. I tell you what I'm going to do, Ron. I'm just going to fill the end with sound effects.
Nice. I love that. And then next week is our Christmas party.
I think that might have already happened by this point. Don't know. The timetable's fucked. Anyway, join the Patreon to come to our Christmas party. And Merry Christmas, everybody. We hope you have a very lovely time doing whatever makes your brain feel good at this time of year. We hope you have all of the things that comfort you. Onions down.
Grinch.
Lexx Education, babe. It's a podcast. It comes out every